How often did you talk to Michael?
We spoke to him not that much during rehearsal, but we last saw him May 14th.
Do you know how long he'd been given propofol?
Well, see, with This Is It, there was a lot of footage that was taken out that no one saw, and because that was the edit before the edit, and it's just that so much went on, so much went on.
And is that footage damaging? I mean, do you see a guy, in a bit of a daze, bit of a zombie? I mean, what is the stuff we didn't see?
Well, things that we've noticed, and this is why the defense is going to try to paint my brother out to be a drug addict, and he was very dependent on drugs, and it's not true, because how can someone be dependent on drugs? And it's just 2008, he was dancing 4 hours a day, and he had a 5-year plan of starting a new life. And
well, let me throw something to you about this. I know somebody who's a very famous TV star, very famous, one of the biggest stars in the world, who's a friend of mine, who takes sleeping pills every night to sleep because he finds the adrenaline is just too much going on. Been doing it for years. That is a form of addiction. I was on Ambien after breaking some ribs for 3.5 weeks once. When I tried to stop, it was like having a form of cold turkey for 2 or 3 weeks. These are strong drugs. Propofol is significantly stronger than anything that this friend of mine takes or that I was taking that time. So if Michael was getting this stuff over a regular period of time, he could still be performing perfectly well. But as you say, underneath it, the damage would be pretty intensive, I would say.
But that's the question. Michael has always had an anesthesiologist around him when he was taking things.
Someone who knew.
Whether I knew whether
someone who knew about the process
Yes.
of knocking somebody out for the purposes of sleep.
Yeah, plus he's lived all this time doing Demerol and sleeping pills and also pain pills, but the symptoms from propofol is like no one knew that he was, well, the public didn't know that he was complaining about his body, one side being an ice cube, another side being very warm.
But do you know how long he'd been taking it? Is there any evidence that you've seen?
I really don't know, but
what is the family's belief? What is the theory that you think about that?
Our belief is that we knew he was doing prescription drugs to sleep and pain, and we didn't know about propofol. I just found out about this drug, which I can't even pronounce hardly, but the symptoms. The reason why I want to talk about the symptoms, because if you look at the past tours, we've never heard of these symptoms of Michael Jackson not knowing whether to go right or left when he comes on stage.
Who was he telling about the symptoms?
No, this
the
is
family?
no. These are people that were around him. Him not being able to lift himself out of what 5-pound prop or something. Him repeating himself and him losing just unbelievable weight, and these are signs of toxic in your body.